coverage to all counties among the Big Four agenda.
To improve health outcomes, I have proposed an allocation of Kenya shilling 111.7 billion to the health sector in this budget. Out of this, Kenya shilling 50.3 billion is for activities and programs for the attainment of universal health coverage by the drivers and enablers.
15 billion shillings has been allocated for Kenyatta National Hospital, 10 billion shillings for Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, 7.2 billion shillings for Kenya Medical Training Centers, and 4.3 billion shillings as a conditional grant to Level 5 hospitals in the counties. To ensure the success of the affordable housing program, the government has proposed an allocation of 15.5 billion shillings to the housing, urban development and public works sector. 6.9 billion shillings from the fund will cater for the affordable housing program.
Kenya shilling 7.5 billion for the Kenya Urban Program and Kenya shilling 1.1 billion for the ongoing construction of Gikomba, Githurai, Chaka, Kamkunji and Agoreti markets.
On manufacturing, the government will scale up reforms to promote investments in the sector to support and protect local industries with 18.3 billion shillings set aside.
To promote local industries, I have proposed an allocation of Kenya shilling 18.3 billion for this cluster. Of this, Kenya shilling 1.4 billion will go to the Kenya Industrial Entrepreneurship Project. Kenya shilling 3.5 billion for the development of Special Economic Zone, Textile Park in Naivasha, Kenanie Leather Industrial Park, and at the River Textile Hub.
To improve food and nutrition security, the government says it will continue to expand irrigation schemes, support large-scale production of staples, and increase access to agricultural inputs.
Mr. Speaker, to support these initiatives, I have set aside shilling 52.8 billion for food and nutritional security. Out of this, Kenya shilling 10.6 billion has been proposed for the Kenya Climate Smart Agriculture Project. Kenya shilling 5.5 billion for the National Agricultural and Rural Inclusivity Project. Kenya shilling 4.1 billion for the Kenya Cereal Enhancement Program. Kenya shilling 730 million for the Food Security and Crop Diversification Project. And Kenya shilling 10 billion for irrigation land reclamation.
For Channel 1 News, I'm Ben Troinjue.
And a section of lawmakers have expressed optimism that the Kenyan economy will weather the COVID-19 storm should the government meet the ambitious revenue targets proposed in Thursday's budget estimates. The leaders are, however, calling for more innovative ways of helping vulnerable members of the society, as well as micro and small medium enterprises currently reeling from the effects of the global pandemic.
While the proposals are very good, I think we are likely to face a lot of challenges in implementation. For example, if you take the projected revenue collection, we are projected to collect about 1.6 trillion. This year, where we have only had COVID-19 for 3 months, we have not managed to collect 1.6. We are actually at around 1.4. So you can see we are projecting to collect more in an environment where even the environment is more worse than what we have been having for the rest of the year.
Top of the agenda basically has been the issue of strengthening the healthcare system. I'm happy that the CS has talked about strengthening the healthcare system and at the same time also empowering and making sure that persons with severe disabilities are also taken care of in terms of the additional funding to support the healthcare for persons with severe disabilities. This has been a very big challenge, from Mashinani, where I come from, to Nairobi, to urban slums and settlements.
Side of stimulus package, it is too little. We needed more money to go to that side in stimulating the economy, because at the moment the economy is not growing.
When we think about the monies that we need to be repaying for the facilities that we have taken as a country, whether it is the principal debt or the interest that accrues on this debt, you'll realize that even if we were to meet our debt, our collection, our revenue collections of 1.6 trillion shillings, it would mean that quite a big chunk of this would go into debt repayment.
I have set aside funds to employ 200,000 youth in Kazi Mtaani. And I really am very, very grateful because I know some of those opportunities will continue coming to Mukuru kwa Njenga and Mukuru kwa Ruben, Riara and Pipeline. Now we are and the Quarry have also been included, and because it's no longer slums alone, also but it's the entire country, various the major towns and the slum area and the needy areas in the country.
Mukuru is doing the best to convert that, but still, we need to free that up and make that office as independent as possible.
Let's move away from Parliament chambers and move to the highways and byways. And Kenyans have welcomed the budget presented Thursday, loading allocations to employ more youth under the Kazi Mtaani program, as well as healthcare workers, teachers and interns. Those who spoke to KBC Channel 1 welcomed the economic recovery measures announced by National Treasury CS Ukur Yatani. They, however, took issue with allocations on Youth Enterprise Fund, noting that most of them are yet to benefit from the kitty, as Irene Muchuma now samples the views.
I can't comment anything good kuhusu mambo ya vijana kwa sababu vijana tayari walikuwa wameambiwa kitambo wataangaliwa kitambo, lakini hapo tunao hakuna kijana ambaye amepata kazi.
So if they can prioritize the youth, then it can be a good thing because it's the youth which can run this country economically, and it's good for the youth, which are young people who need to progress in their search for the future.
Mimi naona kwa hii serikali hata kama wameongeza hiyo pesa kwa youths, si right time.
Upande wa corona, mimi nimefurahia sana kama wameongeza pesa nyingi, at least isaidie waweze kupona haraka ili tuendelee na maisha ya kawaida.
Most cases unasikia pesa fulani mahali fulani, pesa fulani mahali fulani, according to the structure, is not structurally listed about the COVID-19 problems.
Tunataka hiyo pesa vile imereleasiwa iende kwa kila county vile wananchi wanataka.
Kuhusu kuajiriwa walimu, in fact kuajiriwa walimu ni mzuri, lakini sioni sisi watu wa Northeastern kama tunaweza faidika hapa. Currently, before the schools was closed, walimu especially locals walitoka kutoka hapa.
Wana mikakati gani ya kuja kuona maneno hao wanasema itafanyika? Sababu ile tunaona msitu wa Nyang'au ni ule maneno tu ndio inabadilika.
Tumesikia kwamba kuna vitu ile ya kutengeneza mask pamoja na sanitizers zitaletwa kwa nchi yetu bila uzuru yoyote. So sisi kama wanabodaboda na watu wengi katika kaunti yetu ya Kisii tunaona wametuweka vizuri kwa sababu hizo vitu zitatusaidia na tutakuwa tunapata kwa bei nafuu.
To the county governments now in an environment where EACC and ODPP and the DCI have a big eye to make sure that the sharing of Wajiko is not misused. So we should expect to see much better impact in this financial year before we get into the next one, where now we will be thinking about 2022.
Finance ministers from East African Community member states also presented their tax and spending plans for the year 2020-2021 fiscal year, amounting to 5.56 trillion Kenya shillings. Uganda's budget amounted to about 1.1 trillion Kenya shillings, while Rwanda's budget is 359 billion shillings, and Tanzania's is 1.4 trillion shillings.
Revenue and expenditure estimates for the financial year 2021.
Ugandan Finance Minister Maita Kasaija presented a 45.5 trillion Ugandan shillings revenue and expenditure plan for the new financial year 2020 and 2021. Security was allocated 4.5 trillion Ugandan shillings, while the tourism sector got 197 billion Ugandan shillings, a slight improvement from 193 billion Ugandan shillings in the 2019-2020 financial. The Ugandan government is expected to cut off billions of shillings off travel and conferences and ensure that ministries, departments and agencies become efficient as it seeks 11 trillion shillings funding to run the 2020-2021 budget. In Tanzania, Dr. Philip Mpango, the finance minister, tabled the last budget of the first 5 years of President John Magufuli's administration. Dr. Mpango announced plans to spend Tanzanian shilling 34.88 trillion, with 21.98 trillion set aside for recurrent expenditure, including but not limited to general elections this year. Following the coronavirus pandemic, which has slowed down economies, Rwanda will increase national spending by 7.5%. Finance Minister Aziel Dagijimana announced an increased budget of 3.7 billion Rwandan francs for the 2020-2021 financial year, compared to 9 billion Rwandan francs in the 2019-2020 fiscal year. The proposed total resources estimated for fiscal year 2020-2021 amount to 3.2 billion Rwandan francs. This amount is made up of 1.6 billion Rwandan francs of domestic tax and non-tax revenue, external grants of 492.5 billion Rwandan francs, and external loans of 783.4 billion Rwandan francs. Ben Chumba, reporting for Channel One News.
Away from budget matters now, and let's talk about the coronavirus. And the cases of coronavirus infection in the country is now worrying, with 121 individuals confirmed positive in the last 24 hours. The new cases are from 3,291 samples tested and bring the total number of positive cases confirmed in the country, listen to this, to 3,215. Kenya also recorded 3 fatalities over a similar period, bringing the total number of deaths from the coronavirus to 92.
The number of coronavirus cases in the country has jumped to 3,215 after 121 people tested positive between Wednesday and Thursday. In a statement, the Ministry of Health indicated that 115 of the new cases are Kenyans, while 6 are foreigners, with age ranging between 4 months old to 86 years old. The number consisted of 92 males and 29 females. Nairobi takes the lead with 49 cases, Busia has 37, Mombasa 20, Kajiado 5, Migori 4, Kiambu and Kilifi 2 cases each, while Murang'a and Nyeri have 1 case each. Over a similar period, Kenya recorded 3 new fatalities, bringing the total number of deaths from the coronavirus to 92. 44 patients have also recovered from the COVID-19 in various facilities, and recoveries now stand at 1,092. To date, Kenya has tested 106,247 cases since the pandemic was first reported in the country on March 13. Purity Museo, Channel One News.
The High Court has declined to quash the impeachment of Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru, who was shown the door by members of Kirinyaga County Assembly on Tuesday. Justice Weldon Correal ruled that the County Assembly had proved it did not violate any court orders. These, as 4 legislators from Kirinyaga County support the ouster of Governor Waiguru, the 4 area Senator Charles Kibiru, Gishogo Member of Parliament Robert Githinji, and Moyas Kabinga Wadhayo and John Wambogo. Kirinyaga Central called on the Senate to respect and upheld the will of Kirinyaga people.
The embattled Kirinyaga County Governor Anne Waiguru was continued on Thursday after the High Court refused to set aside her impeachment petition she had filed on Wednesday. Judge Weldon Korir had barred the MCS from tabling the motion in April because the governor had argued that as a result of COVID-19, she could not leave her home, and also claimed that it contravened the doctrine of public participation. Waiguru's fate as governor now rests with the Senate, but as the court turned down Waiguru's request, back home, a section of women leaders in Kirinyaga County have thrown their weight behind the governor, saying residents were not involved in public participation. The leaders condemned the impeachment and appealed to the Senate to dismiss it.
This as business came to a standstill in Kotostown after residents took to the streets Thursday to demonstrate their support in the impeachment of Governor Anne Waiguru. Elsewhere, the Kiambu Law Courts has ordered the Directorate of Criminal Investigation to release 3 of the 5 high-end vehicles police had seized from the home of former Sports Cabinet Secretary Rashid Echesa.
Grounds of opposition relied upon by the Prosecution Council in response to this application do not address the facts that have been raised in the supporting affidavit to the application.
In another development, 7 Kericho County government officials arrested Wednesday by EACC officers were Thursday arraigned before Kericho High Court Judge Samuel Mokua. They were charged for failure to follow the law of public procurement in the award of tender. Construction of Bar Kapsimo Twet Kibarar Road in Belgut Sub-County that is worth 5.6 million between 4th and 11th March 2016. A warrant of arrest was issued for Japheth Kimngeno, another director of Joling Limited, who failed to turn up. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Timothy Kipnusu.
Elsewhere, leaders from Wajir and Marsabit counties have condemned the killings of 9 people in conflict said to have been sparked by inter-clan rivalry along the border. The leaders termed the incident as unfortunate, urging locals to always value lives and not take the law in their hands. Led by Governor drawn from the 2 counties, the leaders urged security agencies to act tough on anybody who will be found to have played a part in the killings.
Kulaani vikali visa kama hizo ambazo watu wetu hasa wafugaji mara kwa mara badala ya kuongea mambo ya development, wao ni kazi yao ni kuiba na kuuana. Hii imepitwa na wakati, na tungehimiza hawa wasimamishe hiyo vita mara moja.
Tunasisitiza ya kwamba tutaendelea kufanya kazi kwa karibu pamoja, na kwa lazima tutafute nani walisababisha maneno haya, na jamii hii ama jamii hiyo yote ambao wanahusika lazima wadumishe amani.
Let's now move to sports and the sports industry, one of the hardest hit sectors of the economy during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, appears to have received a timely cushion from the Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund. Was allocated a total of 14 billion shillings in the 2.79 trillion shillings 2020-2021 budget presented by National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani. The allocation is almost triple of the previous financial year's allocation.
In its fiscal year planning, the national government allocated the Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund a whopping 14 billion shillings, up from 5.3 billion compared to the last financial year. The allocation is expected to bolster the Sports Ministry's efforts to cushion majority of sportsmen and women hit by the coronavirus pandemic.
To support this sector, I propose an allocation of 14 billion to the Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund. I have also set aside 2.5 billion for the Tourism Promotion Fund and 3.8 billion for the Tourism Fund.
The allocation, however, will be instrumental in helping Kenya successfully host the first leg of the inaugural World Athletics Intercontinental Tour in September, whereas the Safari Rally, now a World Rally Classic event, has since been postponed to 2021, as well as the World Under-18 World Athletics Championship, which was due in Nairobi in July but has since been postponed. National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani, while unveiling the budget, said the economy is expected to grow by 0.20% amid the pandemic. Frederick Muki for Channel 1 Sports.
Well, and this is where we put a full stop on today's Business Insight. Thank you so very much indeed for joining us. We appreciate your time. Remember, the weather report is coming up next with Irene Muchuma. And then thereafter, we go to Inside Government, where we focus on Kenya's industrialization agenda. And guess who is joining us? You need to stay right here. From me and the rest of the team, thank you so very much for your time. We do this again on Thursday, same time. But remember, we continue with more programming right here on KBC Channel 1. Have a good night. Bye for now.
Good evening. Hope you had a beautiful day. A very warm welcome to Channel 1 Weather Updates. My name is Irene Mchuma Odim. It's raining over a few areas in the capital as well as Central Highlands. The Lake Basin region and the western parts of the country are currently experiencing showers accompanied by thunderstorms over several places. This, as the rest of the country is experiencing partly cloudy conditions. Friday morning, the northwestern parts of the country will experience sunny conditions, but then in Nairobi, Nyeri, and Meru, we're expecting cloudy conditions to prevail with light rains over a few places. At the coastal strip, cloudy conditions will also prevail, and then for you in Eldoret, expect rains during the morning hours, similarly to few areas over the northern parts of the country. In the afternoon, there would be showers accompanied by thunderstorms over several places in Kisii, Kericho, Kitale, Bomet, Eldoret, which will also spread to the northern parts of the country. At the coastal strip, we're expecting sunny intervals to prevail, but then in the afternoon, later on in the evening, there would be cloudy conditions. Temperatures have slightly gone up in the capital. We're expecting maximum of 22 degrees Celsius. The highest temperatures across the country will be experienced in Mandera at 35 degrees Celsius. For you in Voi, expect maximum of 29 degrees Celsius and lows of 19 degrees Celsius. It is also important to note that for you in Nairobi, the sun will be out at 6:31 a.m. And on that note, let's now cross the borders and see how the weather forecast will be in other parts of the world. Do have a good night and a lovely day tomorrow.